Afternoon. We're getting ready to open the community agency application funding meeting. And we'll start with Renee to approve last meeting's minutes. We're going to start with asking folks to approve last meeting's minutes. Can you hear me, Renee?
I can, I'm sorry.
All right, I have my Robert's Rules of Order cheat sheet here.
Okay. I'm sorry, am I supposed to take roll of who approved?
Right. We just want to ask everybody, did you have a chance to review the minutes of the last meeting and approve those minutes? Did we get minutes?
Yeah, well, you can, sorry, I'll cut in there for you, Renee. Can take any, if anybody has any amendments to the minutes themselves, and if not, a motion from the floor to approve the minutes.
Yeah.
Being that there are only two of you, would be a motion, and I guess a second from the chair.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. I think the one correction has already been made. Is that correct, Ms. Parker and Renee?
Yes, I do have that to make to the minutes, that correction to make.
Okay, well then I'll make the motion to approve.
Ms. Parker, will you second that? All right.
Mellon is a staff member, and I'm not sure that she can provide that
Okay.
second for you. There are only two members of the board here that I see
I'm a
today.
staff member.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I usually have my little Robert's Rules of Order cheat sheet here. I didn't pull it up. Okay, so let's start with today's agenda, Renee. What's first on our agenda?
First on the agenda was, I'm sorry, there we go. Let me share that, I'm sorry. Was to approve minutes, which we've done, and next is to discuss the new applications for CDBG, home, and the HOPWA applications.
Okay.
I'm gonna put up another. And so the first application that we have is for the experiment in self-reliance. It's for their fiscal year 22-23 IDA program.
Okay. So I didn't get a list of, I only got a list of my application. So who reviewed and would take the lead on the experiment in self-reliance?
Let's see. Assignment. Experiment in self-reliance had Ms. Jacqueline Burns and Shannon Little.
Okay, so they're not present. Do you have their scores from Neighborly?
Yes, I do. The scores were, the average was 96. And the staff score was 98.
Okay. Well, we don't have anyone to discuss it. Would you like to table it, or could two, I don't even think two people would be a forum to approve, right?
That's correct, because we have 5 members.
Okay, so we will table that and get a group vote on for our next meeting, but it looks as if we've had a lot of consensus on that application. So the only thing that we'll have to do now is to table it. Were there any differences in terms of how much of the request versus how much the people who approved, gave scores here on, in terms of the money request.
Looking here, they did not apply for it last year. So they're asking for $35,000 for the next fiscal year.
Okay, so I don't know how much Jackie or the other person recommended. So we're gonna have to table this. I can't see anything in Neighborly except for my information.
The applications are out on the website.
No, I'm saying what Jackie and the other reviewer put in their review as what they would like to fund, the level they would like to fund them at.
Let's see, yeah. I can tell you. Just one moment.
Renee, do we have that level of information in terms of what was entered into the system, the requested funding level?
I'm looking now. I don't know if she put in what. One said full funding if funds are available. And that was the only comment that we had from one of the reviewers.
Okay, so Scott, would the best way to go here is, looks like we may have to table a lot today. Table the funding, the vote until the next meeting.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to take an official vote on anything having only 2 of 5 members and less than a quorum. You could continue to review each of those. Under only having the 2 members present, the ones that you had, either one of you had been a part of the scoring on. For the rest of them, Renee, are we just trying to get to a bottom line recommendation number in this meeting? And if so, you could have the 2 members kind of work back and forth through the recommendations based on the average scoring from the other members, not having their input, and present that at the next meeting for a vote. This is my first time working through the process. I think you have some leeway here in terms of how you'd like to do this review, obviously short several of the members providing their individualized feedback.
Okay.
Yes, we were trying to get to a bottom line if you wanted to fund them or not, and at what amount.
I see Sarah's online, and Sarah, do you have any input of what we did when we didn't have a forum before?
It's been a little while since I have been involved in this process, so I'm not totally sure kind of how we've navigated that recently. Maybe we could start with, since there are 2 of you are here, and maybe we could start with reviewing the applications that y'all have reviewed. Would that make sense? Right. Maybe start with discussing those, and then I think there were some meetings where we kind of you all made recommendations and then finalized them later when we did have a quorum.
Okay, so
either of those sound good?
Right. So what I will suggest, and we'll put in the minutes for members to read, is that if you don't plan to attend a meeting, will you reach out and cast a vote through Renee that you vote to fund? I think we could do that, a proxy vote.
So I think we could allow them to provide feedback, but I don't think that we'll be actually allowed to record a vote in that manner. So they can provide, and Renee can say that person would have voted for that, and you will have that kind of as their affirmation of whether or not they wanted to provide funding at that level. But it wouldn't be recorded as an actual vote at that point.
Okay, great. All right, so we'll move on with United Way. I gave United Way 100, and I vote to fund it. It was a well-written application and focused on one goal. And who else had that?
That was.
And it might be helpful if I get a list, Renee, if you don't mind emailing to me who were assigned. Like I didn't.
Barbara, are you talking about the Diversion Assistance Fund?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think you and I both shared that one.
Okay. And what was your score?
My score was 100. I thought it was a very well detailed request and clearly outlined what their goals were. And it being, United Way, that's been around forever and has, a great history in doing things for the city, I would fund it 100%.
Okay, great. So, any further comments? All right, so the next one was the Delta Fine Arts Center. And I also read that grant. I gave them, I think it was a 90-ish, 90. And I've been on here long enough to know that they have applied for many years and we have not funded them. I think the application was very thorough and well written this time. They focused on the goals that they wanted, and it was focused around improving the facility. And another comment I made was that it's the only African American heritage organization in the East Winston area, or one of, yeah, I think it's the only one. And that was the, they hold a lot of events, and if the theater festival is to return, they usually hold a lot of events during that time with visitors to the city. So I think the improvements to the building that they're asking for would benefit the city and welcome visitors during that time. So I guess I'm the only one that here that read that one, and I see I was pretty much in line with the average staff score. Okay, experiment in self-reliance, case management. I didn't read that one, and I think maybe they may be Jackie and Shannon, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see. I'm sorry. Yes, that was Jacqueline Burns and Shannon Little.
Okay. So since we don't have any comments here, we got some pretty high scores here of staff at 91 and committee members at 97. So we will table that for the next meeting. Scott, let me know if you want me to stop at any point or if there's any further discussion you have.
I was hoping that at least one more member of the group would join here. Going through here and tabling the discussion on each of these where we don't have someone to respond to them is going to get you to the bottom line, and you're not going to have, you're going to have a significant number of these to go to the next meeting. Renee, I guess the question would be here, process wise, and we can kind of think out loud. Do we want to continue to go through these and just have the two chair as well as the other member provide the recommendation, and then just have at the next meeting essentially say at the previous meeting the recommendations were made, and so even if we don't have someone here to speak for them, to go ahead and provide that recommendation. If we don't go that route, we almost might want just to bump these meetings back. I mean, you're short so many members. If you're looking for that individual piece of feedback on each one of them, I think we either at this point may need to talk about, like I said, just bumping the entire review back a session, or going forward with just the two of you, actually making the recommendation based on the average scores that the others have provided without their feedback, and just coming at the next meeting and saying, we made these decisions, unless you have significant reasons to alter from them, we would vote to recommend this as a group, and maybe allow them to do feedback only as necessary at that point in the next meeting, instead of going piece by piece through each one of these that we missed, as well as trying to pick up the entire agenda of the next meeting as well. So I think you've got those two choices in my mind.
I agree with that, or Patricia Burton, if we have any more of the same ones, just go ahead, make our comments, and then we don't have to make comments at the next meeting. We know our recommendation, but I agree with that. What Scott said, it's kind of, we got to go over them anyway.
Well,
But
Barbara, you want to go ahead and do the ones that we shared since we're both here?
Yeah, let's get those. So, because I think we did, I did financial pathways, and both the United Way and Veterans Helping Veterans Heal.
I'm gonna bring it up. Okay, let's see. Yes, y'all both did financial pathways.
I did reentry.
And you both did United Way. Those are the only other two that you both did. You both reviewed together.
Right, and I did Piedmont, the reentry program, and Veterans Helping Veterans. And I think if we go ahead and let us have some discussion, that we can not vote on it today, but we don't have to have all the discussions on the next meeting. We can just have a few discussion on the ones of the people who were not here. Similar to what Scott was saying. Okay, so let's go back, Renee, to the top. Did you have, Patricia, what do you have to say about Positive Wellness Alliance?
Say that one again, Barbara.
What did you have to say about financial pathways? Me, okay, I gave them 100. They have had a grant for all of the years that I've been here. And I see they plan to increase the number of people they want to work with. However, I said fund them at the level that, no, I didn't see any increase in the number of people they wanted to work with. So I said fund them at the level that we have already adopted for them, and just in case we don't have money.
And I agree. The requested amount looks like it's the same as last year. And so I, agree that we should fund at that, 100% of that requested amount. And it looks like a great collaborative endeavor that, it's been around for a while. So yes, I think it's worthy of funding. I gave it 100%.
Okay, Project Reentry, the Piedmont Tribe Regional Council. I read that one. I gave them really high scores. I think the reason that's reasonable for $38,000. For this time, they plan to increase the number of participants that they want to work with, and the amount is reasonable, and it's going for program services. We'll table SG Atkins. Patricia, did you have United Way CIC?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what do you think?
My comments were, it's consistent with the prior year's funding. The request of 26,700, I agree that we should go ahead and fund this. I think it's another worthwhile endeavor, and it's definitely in line with the city's strategic plan.
Okay. COC, that was, I think that was me. I gave them 100. They've been doing this for many years and they are only asking for funding at the same level.
Yes.
And I did Veterans Helping Veterans, funding requests at the same level. It was a good grant and for worthy cause. So let's move down, Renee, to, there was one more down here at the bottom of this list. Hold up, right here for the AIDS. No. What's a Positive Wellness Alliance?
I had that one along with Jackie as the lead, and she's not here.
What kind of score did you give them?
I gave them a 94. I thought it was you know, a good grant or good application. This was, you know, very informative to me. The only, you know, thing that struck me was that the people that they intend to assist for that, the fiscal year that they're requesting funding, is the same as last year. And I would have loved to have seen them have a goal that was more than what they have currently, you know, been assisting. And that was like 355 people. I would have loved to have seen that go up. But anyway, my score is, it was scored at 94%.
I would definitely like to table the discussion on this. It's a first time new applicant and asking for $710,000. It's kind of questionable for me. I didn't get to see the application. It would be, who else are you getting funding from? Are you depending on the city for sole funding? I don't think I've ever seen a request of $710,000.
Dr. O'Neill,
Yes,
they are receiving funding in another funding stream from us.
okay.
Yes, this is, the HOPWA money is a new funding stream for us. So they were the only ones who applied in it. But yes, that's a new funding stream for us.
So is $710,000 reasonable for that funding stream, or how much money is in there?
That would be a community development question. And we did have some staff on, and I don't see them now. Let's see. Oh, there's Melon. Melon, would you be able to answer?
What was the question again?
I've, in my years of being on this committee, I've not seen someone ask for $710,000. I just would like to know how much is in that budget line, and is that reasonable to be
Okay.
asking?
If I'm not mistaken, and I don't have the application in front of me, but Positive Wellness is running that program this year. This year, the city of Winston-Salem became an entitlement program for the for HOPWA, and we Positive Wellness will be running this program for the city for 5 counties. So that $700-some thousand is to administer and operate 5 counties for that program.
Okay, there were high scores from the staff, but again, that was kind of new to me seeing that kind of request. So I would like to definitely hear from the other reviewer to see what they thought about it.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Ms.
You're
Parker. Okay, so Scott and Renee, I think we've done just about what we can do here today.
Yes, ma'am. Unfortunately, with such a short staffing on the or number of participants here, I think it's unfortunate. Wish we could have had a little better conversation, but Renee, we will take the rest of this and bring it back to the agenda for the next meeting. Continue that. We'll try and do a good job reaching out as well to ensure we get as much participation as possible in that following meeting.
Right.
So again, I think finalizing recommendations, hopefully at the next meeting for CDBG Home and HOPWA.
So Renee, when you send out the next communication to
Yes.
the group, I will send you a paragraph to add, like, to reinforce that we appreciate them reading and scoring their applications as a reviewer. However, we can't make decisions without them being present at the meeting to vote. And when I'll word it very nicely, when you're not at the meeting, we can't vote. We would appreciate you attending the meeting. So I will send you a paragraph to add to your communication.
Okay.
Dr. O'Neill, I will add at this point, I know we are short a few members here on CAC. There are 2 other citizens committees that the Budget and Performance Management Department provides staff assistance to, and we're short on several of them. So we will work with the mayor's office to see if we can get a few more members as well. They will not have reviewed this at this point, but hopefully we won't have this problem in future years. But it will not alleviate the immediate problem, but hopefully we will get more participation on the review process overall in the future. So just wanted to note that this is not just this this agency or this committee or commission that's a little short on participation. It seems to be happening in a couple of different areas. I think there's a little bit of fatigue from COVID potentially with people participating, but we'll do what we can.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Renee, will you pull the agenda back up?
Yes. And there may be a change we need to do there will be a change we need to do for the next meeting. We were supposed to, let me bring up the calendar. For our next meeting, discuss the SOAR program, but we were going to need to change that to the Housing Finance Fund, switch that from the 4th to the 18th. So
Okay,
we can do that along with the CDBG Home and HOPWA at the next meeting.
okay.
And that was the only other thing that I needed to bring to your attention.
Okay. All right. It's hard to do anything when, you don't have a quorum, so,
Yes.
yeah. So let me ask you, Scott, if we I'm always sending names for suggested potential board members. Is there a possibility they will can be approved before this funding session is over?
I will talk with Linda Jackson Barnes in the mayor's office. She has to put them in front of the mayor, and they have to make it on the agenda officially. So it is not always a quick process. They do have to be approved at one of the city council's official meetings. Let me check with her and see where we are in that process. And if you have names, feel free to shoot them to me again if you've already sent them to others, Renee, Patrice, whomever in the past. And I will ensure that they get in front of the mayor's staff and onto the agenda as quickly as possible if they can.
Okay, I will. All right,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Renee, could I see the agenda again? So I'll know how to proceed from here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was up. Let me share. There we are.
Okay, so we're now at adjourning the meeting. Do we have, before we adjourn, do we have any questions? Ms. Burton, you are new to the committee. How was your experience? Do you have any questions? Did you have any problems with neighborly? You're muted. We say that all the time, all day.
I was just trying to make sure the dog didn't bark. But anyway, this has just been a great experience for me to learn where some of my tax dollars go and what the city does with the funding that we get to assist all of these great efforts by, tons of different functions. It's very eye-opening. And it's been a great experience. I'm a reader anyway, so it's good, and I'm glad to be able to participate and share my thoughts, and in hopes that some of these things get agencies get the money and start doing the good work that they're doing.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you all.
And I'd like to confess that I did not know Patrice had gotten a promotion until we came on our last meeting. I was like, where's Patrice? Okay. So I had to Google it, and I'll just send her a note saying congratulations. Okay, COVID fog, that's what it is.
We will pass that along to her. Feel free to send her a note as well, but we'll tell her you said congratulations. She is upstairs now.
I was proud, COVID fog, I hadn't seen that. So anyway, thank you all for attending our first meeting, and hopefully we'll have better participation on our next meeting, which is on Friday, February 18th at 2 p.m. And I would like to put on the table for adjournment. I'm going to get my rules here in front of me.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Mm-hmm. And I guess I'll second it too. All right. Thank you all, and we'll see you on the 18th.
All right. Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.